Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Ole Neil Adams, Richard Andrew Anderson, Jerry Allen Ashburn, Robert Eugene Ascom, Riley Clayton Austin, Wilfredo Aya Reyes, Danny Ray Baker, Charles Arthur Bedsole, John Darvin Bell, John Edwin Bernard, Charlie E. Berry, Bill Laverne Bursler, Wayne James Billiard, William David Blessman, Hyris Wayne Blevins, John Arthur Brantley, Emmanuel Chris Brickhouse, Robert Earl Bridges, Robert Alexander Cairns, Ronald Stephen Campbell, Tyrone Edward Carney, Billy Raymond Chadwick, Guy Wesley Klinger, Jr., Robert Leopold Clucky, Jr., Ralph Burton Cobbs, Deverton C. Cochran, William Noel Cole, Charles Lee Collops, Curtis David Collette, Jerry Robert Cook, Derek Core, William Harry Crossman, David Lee Curtis, Michael David Dawson, Don Leroy Dethridge, Jr., Jack Isham Dempsey, Alan Wayne Denny, Leon Timothy Duncan, Herman Gerald Abinga, Ronald David Edenfield, Edward Joseph Edmond, James Melvin Elkert, Preston Henry Ellis, Ezekiel Martinez Encinas, Gary Joseph Ernst, Thomas James Evans, Alan James Farhat, John Alfred Felsher, Leon D. Flanders, Joseph David Fournier, Francis Gerald Frechette, Stanley John Freng, Donald Suichi Fujimoto, James Ronald Garcia, Luis Garcia Gonzalez, Jr., Charles Edward Goodman, Larry Alonza Graham, Johnny Franklin Granberry, Connie Mac Gravite, Harold Alfred Green, Thomas Gary Hager, Raymond George Hahn, Jr., Robert Lloyd Hanselman, Michael James Hare,
Curtis Joseph Harmon, Robert Taylor Harris, Ernest Dwight Hart, Jr., Nels Ivar Hemmingson, Fred Carl Hendricks, Jean Carl Hess, Edward Elias Heyer, David McLean Hollingsworth, Sammy Lee Holmes, Charles Wayne Hook, Robert Wayne Hughes, Charles Edward Hunsinger, Howard Eugene Hurst, Harold Eugene Imler, Jr., Richard Lee Jenner, Carl Thomas Johnson, James Raleigh Jones, Wilson Begay Key, Richard Alden Keller, John Edward Kellett, Terry Leon Kelly, Charles Patrick Kelly, Paul Edward Kelly, Jr., Michael Joseph Kennedy, Paul Frederick Kiker, Bruce Coulter, Stephen William Curdy, John Arthur LaBundy, Luther James Lackland, Carl John Laker, Daniel Bing Ledden, Philip Lewis Lee, Alan Wayne Lewis, Ronald J. Lockhart, David William Lowe, Douglas Alfred Logan, Richard Ray Matchett, Robert Stanley McGuire, Charles Dio Maloney, Larry Raymond Martin, Brent Eugene Mathis, Daniel Arnold May, Claiborne Parks McCall, Douglas Wayne McPhee, Bobby Minton, Samuel Lee Modset, Gregorio Manuel Mora, Michael Joseph Morrow, Wayne Charles Mousel, Howard Allen Mucha, George Thomas Murray, Gerald King Neer, Robert George Nicholas, Morris Allen Noble, Stephen M. Noggle, Wayne Lewis Noth, Wallace Gregory Nye, Edwin Thomas O'Connor, Jr., Jack Wayne Oakes, Marion DeWayne Overby, Varnell Owens, Dennis Sigmund Pasden, David Perez, George Everett Perry III,
Wayne Adolphus Pedersen, Martin Lewis Plotkin, James Richard Powell, William Earl Pruitt, Thomas Reginald Rashel, Leroy Reed, William James Revell III, Joseph Walter Rich, Charles Michael Roach, Michael Stephen Roberts, Benjamin F. Robertson, Jr., Alan John Rose, Edward Leon Romig, Frank Gonzalez Romo, Roger Dale Rosenberger, Dennis Ruth, Marcelino Santos Vega, M. J. Savoy, James Patrick Schuler, Michael Bertra Scodolaro, William Henry Scott, Maurice Albert Schaff, Jr., Stephen William Shaw, Donald Edwin Seaworth, Jose Scotty Simbola, Niles Bernard Skiles, Edward Arthur Smith, Victoriano Perez Sosa, Jr., Donald Lee Sparks, Michael Sheldon Spear, James Edward Starks, David Mark Steele, Clement Olin Stevenson, Jr., Howard Warren Stewart, William Marvin Stone, Jr., John Henry Stout, Edward Earl Strombeck, Ellen Sheffield Stroud, James Ray Swango, No Temez, Willie Lee Thigpen, Wayne Roy Thomas, Evans Jerome Thornton, John Brent Thurnham, Clarence Tolentino, Roosevelt Townsend, Fred Edward Traylor, Michael Vansell, John W. Vaughn, Barry Ronald Walker, Gerald Walter Warzeha, Larry Eugene Washburn, Marvin Leroy Watson, William Thomas Wedgeworth, William Byron Weichel Jr., Charles Edward West, Samuel Marler White Jr., Larry Eugene Wilson, Robert William Whitty, Lloyd Cyrus Wolford Jr., Rodney Glenn Wood, Vincent Wright, Marvin Leon Wyatt.